Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 21 of Anything Goes with Sania and Leah. So today we're going to do a bit of an update to start with, prep update, life update. Sania had her posing stage workshop day launch party over the weekend, which we'll talk about. And we're also going to chat about mind blank. We're going to chat about social occasions. Oh God, it's too early. Oh, it's not even that early. We're going to chat about social occasions, how to navigate weekends away, holidays, day trips, etc. If you are prepping, I'm sure we can touch on like just general fat loss as well. Like, how do you actually go about navigating that? Because I think a lot of people really stress about family stuff and holidays and trips when they're prepping, and it's very doable. So we're going to give our tips on staying on your plan basically when you're traveling.
I do also find that a lot of people get anxious about that, even in an off season, in an improvement phase, whatever you call it, because everyone on social media just fucking says if you're not on your plan at 100%, you're not 100% optimal, and then that gives people anxiety because they think if they eat out, they're
Yeah.
not doing the right things. Like I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of pressure with it, so I feel like it's a really good topic.
Yeah, I also think it's hard in off season because people kind of like family and friends are like, oh, well, you're not on prep, so it's okay. You can like eat out and stuff all the time. So it's like there's two sides of it. There's like the ultra bodybuilding crew that are like must hit every gram of every meal spot on, even when
Yeah,
you're on holiday and off season. And then there's like the other side that are like, oh, I'm not on prep, so you should be able to do what you want. So we're going to
exactly.
talk through our experience, how we do it.
Lovely. So, Leah, tell us, how is prep going? You are what? How many weeks in now?
5,
How many out?
15 and a half.
Exciting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm chilling. I feel great. In that first bit of prep where it's not really prep because you're just in like a little fat loss phase
Yeah.
and you like got really good energy levels. You're not like really full all the time. You're feeling fitter because you're starting to do more cardio, so your sessions are going really well. And when you've lost that first kind of half a stone and you're like, oh yeah, like I feel quite nice in a sports bra at the minute. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm kind of at that stage where it's like the nice stage of prep before it gets really intense.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really happy because we had the first change of prep last week since I started. Yeah,
Ooh.
which was exciting. So we basically it wasn't really much, but the peanut butter got taken out of the last meal. So that was like 130 calories a day or something,
That's
which
heartbreaking.
I know I was sad because I love peanut butter. And I always feel like, when you have fats in your last meal, I feel like it really helps me not be hungry.
Because it's like for me, my last meal is my dessert.
Yeah,
Yogurt and
yeah,
like
that's the same
frozen
as what I have.
berries. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like the peanut butter was just so nice. And I got really obsessed with that whole earth drizzly peanut butter.
Yeah, I bet you did.
So good. If you haven't used that, use it because it's amazing and it goes so
Yeah,
much further than like, when you get the peanut butter in a jar and you're trying to like stab it out and it's like a clump of peanut butter.
yeah.
But this
But
one's
the
like
thing is, though,
drizzly.
yeah, you need an extra mortgage to pay for that shit.
So
It's
good though. I know. I buy it and then Will uses it all in like a day.
yeah, and then
So yeah, that got taken out sad times. But that's been fine. And then also I got 2 more cardio sessions added in. So I'm now doing 4 half an hours cardio, which is still like very chilled.
that's lit. I thought you were gonna say like every day then.
No, 4 half an hours. Oh, and my steps got upped from 12K to 13K. Um, which has been, when I was doing 12K and it was fine. But when you get another 1,000 and you're like, God, like I'm really having to like walk around my living room a few more times at night now to get the last 1,000 in.
It's because like 1,000 takes about 15 minutes on average to get.
Yeah.
So that's another 15 minutes of your day
Yeah.
that you almost haven't inputted into your routine yet.
Yeah, I just need to
But
sort it in.
you just need to basically like, when you go, how many walks on do you go on a day? Like
Well,
12.
I do like a big one in the morning for like an hour when I walk the dogs, which is like 7K or maybe 8K. And then the rest I just tend to make up like when I'm at the gym or like just walking around. But I'll normally finish the day. Maybe I'll go out again in the evening for 20 minutes. I normally finish the day somewhere around 11K. So I've been pacing around because my living room is like a living room and then it goes out one end, up the hall, into the kitchen and back into the living room. So it's like a circle. So I've been walking around at night reading my Kindle.
Oh, you need to buy a treadmill.
I do. That's on my to-do list. I need to buy a treadmill.
Like you need to buy a treadmill. Like I've got one. And it's
Yeah.
really handy because you can literally read, or you can watch TV,
Yeah.
um, or literally just do you do steps before you train?
Like 5 or 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could literally do like 15 minutes pre-session.
That's what I need to do. So yeah, that got upped last Wednesday, so a week ago now. So I just did my fourth, like this week has been my first week of doing the 4 sessions. But I did weigh myself this morning. It is a couple of pounds down from last week. So hopefully that'll be it now for like a good 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I feel like things are going well. Like I don't feel hungry really. Like a bit hungry when I get to my meal, but absolutely fine.
Yeah,
So
you like we say, like prep isn't prep until about 6 to 4 weeks out.
yeah.
Like it's just a diet phase. Like it's one of those things where it's like you won't actually be hungry. It will literally just be you knowing that you're eating less food,
Yeah. And
and
I
you
don't
think,
know my calories. I'm not working out my calories this time because I just think last time I got down to like 1100 at the end and I was like, it was just to make my head go because I was like, oh my God, like, I've only got 600 calories left today and it's 10 a.m.
yeah, this is it. This is why I don't do it.
Yeah.
Like
It just,
I
I
only
don't
just
need it.
realized, I don't even know how many, like I only just, so even when Tom writes it out for me on my meal plan, like I just don't look at it and I just forget to look at it, and it's just like as if it doesn't exist. And I was like, actually, I was writing my update on my membership site because I update them weekly, give them more
Yeah.
of an one about post show and stuff. And I was like, actually, I haven't told them how many calories I'm on because I actually don't know. Like, I just don't
Yeah.
work it out. Like, it's not something people are like, I'm on this many calories. How many are you on? I'm like,
No idea.
uh, like, I have no idea. But I'm on like 2,400.
Oh, that's decent.
Yeah, which is pretty decent. But I was just like, I literally had no idea. And I was
Yeah.
like, I had no idea that this macro was 2,400. I was like, I
Mm.
don't know what I thought it was. I literally, because I just have stayed away, even
Yeah.
though it says, even though I follow the macro bit where it's like Sania on 330 gram of carb,
Yeah.
100, 200 gram of protein, 40 gram of fat. It's like the column right next to it. But I must have just trained myself to just not even care.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you. But that's helped. That helps a lot, I think, on
It
prep. So
does. It
yeah.
does. It definitely helped me throughout my prep. Like just not knowing. Like I don't want to know if I'm on 900 calories. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. Just to let me eat my food and
Yeah.
die.
You're not dying. That's another thing actually that I would be quite curious to talk about because I actually saw it on Leah's close friends thing. Is do you, as humans, obviously we're quite protective over our food, but like when you're in prep, do you get really fucking pissed off? I still to this day do when you're eating and you're trying to just enjoy your food, watching whatever you are on your
I know what
laptop
you're gonna
or
say.
phone, and someone comes and chats to you.
Yeah, because I feel like it's taken my ability to enjoy my meal away from me because I'm like,
Away.
I need to be fully absorbed and I hate it on prep. You know, when you're like out and you're with people, like say if you're going out with your friends for a day, or like say if I'm doing some filming and I've got my videographer with me, I hate it when I'm like having to eat when I'm like next to people because I feel like I can't just sit and enjoy it. I have to be like
I can't
present with
just
other
solely
people.
focus
Yeah,
on my meal. I'm like it now, like Beth does not talk to me. If she talks to me, I will literally aggressively like go on my laptop and pause the video and go, what? Because I'm like,
yeah,
I'm now pausing everything. I'm not gonna eat and I'm not gonna watch my
yeah.
TV show until you're finished with talking with me. And
Literally same.
it's I don't mean to be rude, but
Let me eat my food.
let me eat my food, but also like it's the only time like I'm sure you get it. You're really busy with work, and it's one of
Yeah,
the only times that you actually get to just relax. And then having, because we talk so much as our job, just being in silence is just bliss. Like
yeah,
just sitting there and just being able to eat your food, watching what you want. I got that really bad habit last prep. It got worse this prep and it still stayed quite bad. Like even though I feel good in myself and food is there,
yeah.
still like I still get really fucked off if someone speaks to me. Like it's one little trigger that genuinely pisses me off. Don't look
I'm
at
the
me.
same. And also when I'm on prep, this is a bit weird actually. I can't eat my meal like all together. That sounds really weird, but
No, no, I'm the
you
same.
know, you same. You know, like for my pre-workout, right? I have a banana and I have 4 Weetabix, and I
You
have
have
to
to like
eat
eat a little
the
bit of
banana separately and then the Weetabix. I can't have like a bite of banana and then a bite of Weetabix, and I
If you
can't.
mash it together, it goes too quick.
Yeah, and I can't put the fruit on top of the Weetabix. And it's like when I have my fruit and my yogurt at night, I can't put the berries on top of the yogurt. I have to have the berries on the side, eat the yogurt, and eat the berries. And it's
See,
like
I'm not like that
I
bad.
have
I'll
to
put
eat it
the berries
separately.
on the yogurt, but I'll eat all of the berries first.
Yeah, that's fine as well.
And I'll, because I'm still like that because it's basically just how can I eat for the longest amount of time, enjoy the littlest
The
bits
flavor.
of the flavor.
Yeah.
Um, you actually do get so many like you
Weight.
actually do get a little bit of like what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? You just get very anxious when it comes to like, and you get really particular about like meals and stuff because
Yeah.
it is such a sacred time of your day.
Yeah, literally. And it's like when I have a meal in the evening, what's like steak, air fried potato, and veg. And I have to eat all the potato in one go, and then I'll eat all the steak in one go, and then I'll eat all the veg at the end. I can't, and it has to be, it's really weird actually when I say it, but it has to be in that order. Like I can't have a bit of steak and then a bit of potato. Like it has to be that order on my plate.
See, you go best to worst. I
Yeah.
go worst to best. So I
Yeah, I
finish.
like eating the nice stuff first.
Oh, that's right. But you do get
Um,
weird prep quirks, guys. So just allow it, allow it.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. How's yours? Let's talk about the launch weekend because that was fun.
Oh, that was really fun. That was really fun. So I had the launch party on the Saturday, which was obviously kept quite quiet because it was more of just like an intimate kind of thing. Basically, just like I'd seen that no one had done it before, and for me, this was like a really big thing, like doing what I like launching this. And I thought no one, everyone always just does a fucking Instagram reel. And I was like, I don't want just an Instagram reel and then it's be like old news, like the
Yeah.
day after. I was like, I'm dragging this the fuck out. I was like, I want to invite the people who support me. I want to invite my friends. Like,
Yeah.
I did invite my family, kind of, but I was like, it's just not your thing. And you're just going to feel really fucking weird being in a room full of
Yeah.
bodybuilders who it's not your thing. So here's the invite, but you won't like it.
Yeah.
Really sorry, you won't like it. Maybe we can go out for food like another time.
Yeah.
Like you'll feel uncomfortable, like you will. Um, and then because it's like it was too small of a group for them. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I
it
completely
needed
get
to
what
be
you
a
mean.
massive party
Yeah.
or just yeah. So yeah, that was really lovely. So I hired a room and got some food and brownie carts done, which was really lovely. Chrissy Catering, if you're ever in the Midlands or if you're ever doing a launch party or just generally having a party, she's so good. Like she's ridiculously good. Like she does loads of parties in that place. She also like does buffets and stuff. She'll like drive to venues. Her sweets, her cakes, like post-show treats. Like they're so good.
The
So I got
brownies looked amazing.
they were so good. They were really good. And they had like my little logo on them, which was really cool, which I thought was
Yeah.
really nice.
And you had your blue notch, and that was really cool as
Oh
well.
yeah, so they had the blue notch because I thought photo opportunity, hashtag promo. But the funniest thing is, right, you know the LFP on the blue notch.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were that small. I thought I ordered the big one.
Right. Yeah.
So when I turned up and my brother said, "You want?" I was like,
What is it?
"Well," I was like, "Why is it that big?" And luckily, it actually worked
I mean, I
really
didn't notice it was being small, but yeah,
yeah, so that was quite funny. And then we had the stage workshop, which again was just such a wholesome day. Like
that was
40
amazing.
girls turned up, they all smashed it. Not one of them backed out of doing like their eye walk on their own. They like it was just really good, wasn't it? Just like the vibe there was good. The girls were really supportive. You and Hannah were amazing. That was there. It was just like it genuinely felt like a show day in the sense of like how these girls were feeling and how we were judging them and they were getting tiaras. Like I feel like actual people going there to want to win makes it fit like a lot more, builds a lot more
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good. How did you find
And
the workshop?
yeah, really good. Like just nice being around other like bodybuilders and meeting people. And yeah, it was just really fun. Did a bit of posing stuff. So it was cool.
It
It was
was
really
really good. It
nice.
was really hot though, but
So
it wasn't
hot.
too bad because of the fans. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't that bad. which was quite good. But yeah, this weekend has just been full of LFP, and I feel like people are getting sick of seeing Limitless Flow posing.
That's what
But
you want though.
that is exactly what I want. I want people to go, oh fucking hell, I've seen that. Because what the rule essentially is it takes people to see you, regardless of if they think that they
Yeah.
even if they haven't like actually gone, oh, like I've actually watched that, they've
Mm.
kind of grazed over
Got
the
it.
logo or the name. They have to hear it, see it, and say it 300 times total for them to actually genuinely invest into you.
Yeah.
So you do just have to, even though you're probably finding that you're annoying people, it makes it like little business advice for people. It gets your name stuck in their head.
Yeah.
So for example, like cookies, I see a Blakely's t-shirt every fucking day because I've looked on their website and shown my interest, and
Mm.
then literally I'll see it every day, and then usually like 3 weeks later I'll go, fuck it, I get paid now, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah,
And
you want to be at the forefront of people's minds, don't you? So like people might not need a coach or a posing coach or whatever right now, but if they get to the point where like, oh, I need a posing coach, and they've seen your stuff every day, they're instantly going to be like, oh, I'll go with Sania because
yeah,
she's just in my
or
head.
exactly, or they'll see my stuff and they'll go, I know I need one, but I'll sort it out later. I'll sort it
Yeah,
out later. They see me the next day. Oh, it's just a bit, I don't know if I can afford that right now.
yeah,
Maybe. Then they'll forget about you. Then they'll see your stuff again. They'll go,
yeah,
oh, that's reminded me. Then they'll go, wait till payday. Again.
yeah.
Pay
Eventually, it just goes.
again, and then they come see you. So it's like a customer journey. No one invests into you the first time they hear from you, the first time they see you, the first time they never, unless they're like seriously desperate and they go,
Yeah,
yeah,
I get people on calls with me, and they're like, oh, I've followed you for like 2 years, 3 years,
yeah, and
and
it
I'm like,
just
oh,
it's just trust. You've got to remember these people are like spending a lot of fucking money on you,
yeah,
so they make sure their investment is going.
yeah, 100%.
Exactly. So yeah, that was a little bit of business advice in there as well. But let's start the topic up with you. Basically, you can kind of talk through what you think with the topic to start it off, because
Okay.
it's something that you didn't you?
So yeah, basically we're going to talk about what to do if you are on prep or not on prep, whatever you're doing, and how to navigate if you've got like weekends away or social occasions. And I think it gets massively overcomplicated because people worry about like what people think or taking their meal prep with them. But obviously, if you're on prep, you have to take your meal prep with you wherever you go, because you can't. I mean, I think we're pretty similar, but I'm quite flexible in the off season, and I'll take the odd. I will take meals with me when I go out places, but like if I'm going out for a day trip, I'll go out for a meal, for example, instead. But if I'm on prep, obviously you have to be on it. So get yourself a meal prep bag. I've got one of those, I don't know what brand it is, like a fresh prep meal bag, but you can get loads of different ones. Yeah, literally. It's just like a mini cool bag basically, and it's got, you can basically stack your Tupperware in it. It's got like drinks pockets and stuff. So it just means you can prep it. But I literally have to prep my food at least once a week for either I'm going and doing some filming, or like I went home at the weekend for my sister's birthday. All you need to do is prep your meals and put them in a Tupperware. And yes, you do end up having to eat meals cold. Like if I go to a bodybuilding show, I will take my food and I'll eat my steak and potato cold, which is obviously not ideal.
But you've got to do it, don't you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. And it's the same, right? When you're going for weekends away, I went for a weekend away with my friends last year when I was on prep to Chester, and we stayed in an Airbnb and it had a kitchen, and I just took the food that I needed with me. I pre-cooked some bits that I could, but I just put all my food in a couple of big shopping bags, and I just took it and it was absolutely fine. And I took my cool bag. So when we went to the zoo for the day, I just took my cool bag with me and carried it. And it's so easy. I think it gets really overcomplicated, but no one really cares. Like, it's fine.
It's one of those things, right? So there's like different scenarios. Like when you're in a prep, like you said, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Don't even try. Don't even like. There's no point. Like it's so hard. Like let's say for example, you're like Nando's, for example. It's quite clean. It's not like fucking all those things. If let's say for example, like you're in a prep and you're like, oh yeah, but I can just go to Nando's and track it. No,
No.
can't. Like you just don't know what is actually genuinely being cooked in. You're not watching them over. You don't know how many grams. Like when it comes to a prep, you have to be meticulous.
Yeah.
When it comes to just generally dieting, it's slightly different. Now, let's say you're a lifestyle client, and I would definitely target this more to lifestyle. Or if you're just generally dieting and you're at the start of your diet, I can understand if you
Yeah.
maybe go to Nando's or have a burrito with no guac and stuff like that. But like there are certain scenarios where like you are going out for food and you can bank calories. So this was something that I spoke about on my actual latest post, like my update on the LFP membership site, is what I do, because obviously I'm going through a reverse phase, is if I'm going out for food, what I'll do is I'll still be like half on plan, half off. So what I'll do is I'll have my first three meals exactly the same. And if I know I'm going to have a lot of fats in my last meal, I
Yeah.
generally just take all of the fats out of my meals
Yeah.
and bank that for my final meal. And then I have two meals that I won't have, plus my free calories and fats,
Yeah.
depending on how shitty the food is going to be, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, and then that way, like, you can enjoy meals, but like, just kind of when you're in lifestyle, like, I feel like that way is better because you're still having some sort of nutrients
Yeah.
that you need, but then you're also like being able to enjoy yourself. Like, don't eat all of your meals and then go for a meal out. Like,
Yeah.
don't take it as an add-on. But when you're in a prep, like, don't just
Yeah.
don't just
Yeah,
don't.
I agree. I think I would never say to a lifestyle client, you can't go and have a meal out, because I just think like the point of them being coached is so they learn that they can still do that.
Yeah,
But there's a difference between going away for a weekend and eating whatever the hell you want all weekend, and going away and having one or two meals out and still staying like accountable for your goals. Because at the end of the day, if you're going out and you're a lifestyle client and you're trying to lose weight, for example, and you're smashing 3 meals out a day and loads of drinks and dessert, and you're doing that multiple weekends, you're not going to lose weight. So
yeah,
you still got to be sort of accountable to it. And I find this a lot with lifestyle clients, where they'll go out for a weekend, but then I'll look at the food for the rest of the weekend and they've either not eaten, or they've had one meal and then gone out, or they've had a meal out and then they've had a few glasses of wine later and then they've had another meal out, and it ends up being like a really social weekend.
yeah,
So even if you're a lifestyle client and you're trying to lose weight, you still need to be on it at the weekend. It's
yeah.
just you can get away with, rather than if you're on prep, for example, and you're going out for a meal, you would eat before and you would just go and have like a Diet Coke and sit there. Whereas when you're a
Or
lifestyle,
you can what I found is you can say that you have really bad allergies, so you just
yeah,
have to pick your food. Don't say anything about bodybuilding because no one's going to allow you to take separate
no,
food into a restaurant. Just
no,
basically say that I've got really severe allergies and it's just safe for me to take my own food, but I really want to enjoy food with my family. So if you don't mind, this is the food I'm going to be taking. I really do not mind if you want me to sit as in a corner so no one can see it. But please just appreciate the fact that this is just the safest option for me and hopefully there's no issues. And then almost also state if you need me to sign a waiver or anything like that to provide you with the fact that if I do get ill after today, it's not the food that I had eaten because
yeah,
of your restaurant, it was my own food that I brought. That's no problem at all. Because I have had it where people are like, you like insurance wise and all that kind of
mhm,
stuff. Like you could technically sue them because there's
yeah,
no way to prove that you brought your own food.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so you can kind of go around that route if you need to. But yeah, I think it is just generally like really overcomplicated. And I think another thing that makes it really which makes it quite complicated for people is if they are going out to these social occasions. I actually did a LFP live on this yesterday, is actually the people that are around you that can make it really difficult as well. For
Yeah,
example,
100%.
you're bringing your prep food to the meal. Why don't you just eat it? Like, why don't you just have like the chicken? Like, surely it's fine.
Yeah,
Or like they almost get a bit aggy that you're not eating with them or
yeah.
something.
That does
And
happen, doesn't it?
it happens so often. Like, how would you, if a client said that to you, how would you tell them to approach that kind of scenario? Because I think that's what gives a lot of people anxiety, is going out with the Tupperware and, feeling just a little bit like out of place and just to feel like they're being a bit of an inconvenience.
Yeah, 100%. So I think, to be honest, I have found most people on prep don't tend to struggle with that, because most people's family and friends that know they're on prep are normally quite like, they know how extreme it is. So
If they're a first timer, I will add,
yeah,
because
yeah,
if you're a seasoned competitor like me and you, if I say I'm in a prep, my family, they
yeah,
switch now.
same.
At the start of when I was a first timer, they were like, "What?
Yeah,
Excuse me? Like, what? You've never done this before. What life is this?"
yeah.
They'd go, "Sure, just eat with us, you'll be fine. Like, just get back on tomorrow." I'm
Yeah,
like,
that happens all
"Oh,
the time. Yeah, and I think with that, it's just a case of like they're not going to get it at the start because it is weird. Like taking a Tupperware
yeah,
out family meal is weird, right? Like that's not a normal thing to do. It looks probably very obsessive to people that are on the outside of bodybuilding.
it
But
is
I think,
obsessive. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't look,
yeah,
it
of
is
course.
obsessive because
Yeah,
like you have to be on it gram for gram, like,
yeah.
but then you have to educate them on it and just show them like, look, this isn't going to affect you. It's not affecting me. It's
Mm.
my life. Just let me eat what I want. Just don't say anything about it, and just please, just let me be happy. If I'm happy, it should make you happy.
Yeah, 100%. I think that, and I think also just explaining like, look, I'm on a bodybuilding prep. Like, I have to eat specific amounts of specific food because what I've had in the past is like, oh, well, you can go here because it's healthy food, or oh, you can order something from this menu because it's healthy. I've found like explaining to people, it's not what the food, it's not whether the food's healthy or not. It's that I'm on a meal plan that is calculated, macro calculated, and I have to eat specific amount of specifics food, and I don't know exactly how many grams of this food is in this. So I think just explaining that and why you're doing it, and also that, you know, it is short term, it's just for this prep. Like when I'm back in my off season,
Yeah.
yeah, I will go out for food with you, because for most people, I would hope you spend more time in your off season than you do on prep,
Mm,
unless you're like prepping every single year back to back. But I think it's just explaining, and once people see you on stage and they get the sport, I think they do
yeah.
understand a bit more. But yeah, I think it's just remembering as well, people, you're there at the end of the day, right, to spend time with people, and you eating your own food is not
Makes no
taken
difference.
away from the time that you're
No.
spending with people. And you can kind of cross that over into like lifestyle as well, because obviously, yes, you don't need to take your own food if you're just a lifestyle client and you're just doing like a holiday like mini call or something. But you can't go out and be smashing burger, chips, dessert and stuff every weekend. Like you still need to go and have the protein based option with the low calorie side, and maybe not have the dessert. But I think,
Make better choices.
yeah, yeah, and it's just making sure that you're tracking it in properly. If you are going to do that, you add in, like, say to my clients that if you're going out and you're tracking a meal, you need to add 10-15 grams of oil because it's cooked in oil. If you have potatoes, you need to add butter to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's all these things are going to be added in. So I think you still have to be on it if you are trying to lose weight and you're not on prep. You know, you can't just go out and be smashing food and expect to make progress.
Yeah.
It's just, you can
Sorry.
get away with eating out and tracking it and probably estimating it, whereas you can't do that on prep.
No, I would say though with prep though, because I had to do this for because I was like 3 weeks into a prep, and the place that we went full blank refuse was going to cancel our reservation for my mum's Mother's Day meal out because I was bringing my own food.
Right.
I was like, fuck's sake! I was like, okay, right. If I was to come there, are you able to cook me chicken? Just boil the chicken in water. No oil,
Yeah.
no butter, nothing. They were like, yeah, that's on the menu. They were like, we don't boil it with any this, that. I was like, but I'm telling you now, it has to be nothing in the pan because I'm severely allergic. And then I was like, and can you just do me just green salad, no dressing, just wash the leaves, and that is it. That's all I need,
Yeah.
no extra anything. I
Yeah.
brought my scales with me, and they brought the food out for me. Even though like my brother, the good thing is they understood. They were at
Yeah.
the point of this is like fully extreme,
Yeah.
but I brought my scales with me, and I weighed out what they had done and all that kind of stuff, and I took the bits of chicken out that I didn't need, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And I made sure that all dressing was on the side or wasn't
Yeah.
there. I just said, think about a disgusting meal, and that's what I need. I need the blandest meal
Yeah.
ever. And I was like checking every bit. Um, if worst case scenario, because obviously like at this point, like I had already like left for work, so I didn't prep the meal. I prepped my meals, but I couldn't bring it in. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not going to sit there and do nothing. And I was like, I'm 3 weeks into a prep. I was like, I'm sure it's, it's not the be all and end all.
Mm.
I was like,
Yeah, you can kind of get away with a little bit
you
then,
can
can't you,
kind
at the
of get a
start?
little bit, yeah. And then I was like, and I brought my scales as well. So I was like, it's not the end of the world. I told
Yeah.
Tom, I was like, I've still weighed it out and I've eaten still like in plan. It's
Mm.
just, I just want to let you know because I obviously can't see them in the kitchen.
Mm. Yeah.
I didn't taste anything out of whack or anything, but like they're at the start of a prep. If you do go out, you can order like a side of green veg or like
Yeah.
salad. Just make sure the dressing's on the side because
Yeah. Yeah.
you're gonna have green veg and stuff with it. But just if you don't bring scales, just eyeball what you would usually have. And
Mm.
generally, if it's green veg or salad,
Yeah,
you're
you
probably
can kind of get away
gonna
with
go
that, I
over
think.
5 calories. It's not the end of the world. So if they are saying you have to order at least something, okay, get the salad with the dressing on the side, get the vegetables, no oil, nothing, just boil it.
Yeah.
Um, and stuff like that because you can get away with that and then just bring like just quickly in your pocket just bring the chicken
Whack
whack
out, whack out
out,
skills.
whack out the
Yeah.
chicken you've already prepared and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
There's certain things you can get away with, like because I did that last prep as well. I ordered some green veg, uh,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely fine because that's something that can literally be boiled and usually is steamed anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I've never actually done that, to be honest. Like whenever I've been out for meals, and I've been out for a lot of meals on prep before, but I just don't eat. I just eat my meal just before I go, so I'm not sat there like salivating over everyone's food.
See, I
Then
couldn't do that. For
I
me,
just I just have a Diet Coke. That's the way that I prefer to do it.
see, I just couldn't. Like, I'd just get serious FOMO. I feel
Yeah.
like I'd get serious FOMO and I would feel like personally I am missing out
Yeah.
on something, whether if I'm eating at the same time with people, but it's my own food,
Yeah.
I'm still able to kind of have the same interaction because otherwise you're just sat there listening to people or waiting for someone to talk or you're talking
Yeah.
at them. And I just like the fact that everyone's eating at the same time, but that's just my like slight autistic ways, I suppose.
Yeah, so I guess there's different ways you can do it, but you can either take your phone. I actually saw Zena, she went to a wedding recently and she phoned them up, she checked obviously when they were having the meal, she was like, can I bring my own food? And they were like, yeah, absolutely fine. No probs. She put it in Tupperware, but she wrote on top of the Tupperware, like, please don't add anything, put it in the microwave for this long, just serve it on a plate, but don't add anything at all to it, don't add any salt to it, just leave it exactly how it is. And they brought her food out on a plate like with everyone else's food. So I think most places are actually really accommodating as long as you phone them in advance. And
If
so
they're not a chain, you're fine. If they're a chain,
yeah,
generally they've got more rules and restrictions because they have a lot more money at stake. If you
yes, like I'm doing a client shoot in like 4 weeks time at the botanist, and well, it's not at the botanist, but we're going for a meal at the botanist. And we've got a set 3 course menu, but there's me and one of my clients are on prep. And my uh like assistant India phoned them up and she was like, I've just been on the phone with them for ages because I was trying to explain to them what bodybuilding prep was because they were like, we don't normally let people in who aren't eating. And eventually they like understood, they made a note on it. So we're just going to go in and like not have any food and just sit and be with everyone. But yeah, it can, people can get a bit funny about it sometimes about you just going and not eating.
I would even just say like you're on a really restrictive diet because of sometimes you can say like ethnical or cultural reasons and generally that
Really good
works
question.
more in your favor than bodybuilding. I just would stay away from bodybuilding.
Yeah.
No one knows what it is, no one cares about it. But if you say for cultural, ethical,
Yeah.
religion reasons, generally they'll go, no probs.
Yeah. Yeah, but we did manage to do that, so that worked out fine. But obviously this is only in a prep situation, right? Like if you are someone that isn't on prep and you are just dieting, like you can still eat out, but again, you just have to make sure you either going out with a big amount of calories saved, or what I'll get a lot of the girls to do if they know they're going out somewhere is I'll say, right, go through the menu, pick what you want, obviously be sensible, we'll track it in and estimate it. I can help you track it in, I can help you kind of get the right amounts in. We then have got a rough idea of how many calories are in that meal, and then you know what you've got left for the rest of the day, and you can then eat as normal around the rest of the day. And I think that's the biggest thing, like go and have your meal out, but get your normal meals in around it, get your protein in, get your fruit and veg in. You want to be prioritizing protein because if that meal is taking up 1,000 of your calories and you're on 1,600 calories, you've got 600 calories left the rest of the day. Like, it's not that much food. So planning it and actually entering it in, estimating it, and then knowing what you've got left to play with. Because obviously I have a lot of girls that track the calories. Like, it does take a bit of planning. So
It does.
that's the best way
It
to
does
do it.
take time. It does take planning.
Yeah.
But if you want to achieve your goals, you just have to do it, and that's basically that. Like you
Yeah.
do have to sacrifice a few things. I don't think that things don't come with sacrifice, and
Yeah.
also don't view it as a sacrifice. View it as a step forwards to your goal.
Yeah.
That the
100%.
sooner you get to that goal, the better you can kind of go on to the next.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think a lot of people view it as like a negative thing that, oh, I can't do this, I'm missing out. But it's like, well, not everyone has the same goals as you. And if you
Achieve.
want to go out and yeah, and you want to have the burger and the chips and the dessert the same as everyone else, absolutely fine. Like, I'm never going to turn around to a client and be like, you can't go and eat that burger and chips. Like, that's
Unless
their
you're in
opinion, unless you're on prep. Yeah, then I would say no, absolutely not.
Or if you're in a diet and you're an advanced competitor, like
Yes,
understand that there are different phases to your
yeah,
training life.
definitely. But for like a lifestyle client, I would never say no, but I'm just saying, like, you can't expect to go out and eat what you want and be over your calories every weekend and not make the progress. And
Exactly.
sorry, and make the progress.
And make the progress, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good little kind of like basically like throughout this we just said like you've just got to do the do, and like if you do want to find out a little bit more on how to, I'm going to plug myself here, if you do want to find out a little bit more on basically how to go about speaking to your friends and family and how to approach certain comments people make, and you know all those kind of scenarios where like people making comments of what are you showing your kids by doing this extreme prep diet, or why aren't you eating out on this meal, oh my god you look really skinny, like comments like that, and how to kind of get your family to understand you. Is I did a live on this yesterday, and the live will be up on the membership site as well, so if you are kind of, if you want to get it a little bit more in depth of how you can approach that aside from the meal prep, then you're more than welcome to watch that video, which will be out soon. So
Go and join Sania's membership site.
yes, join it right now, right now. But yeah, is there anything else that you want to talk about, or do you feel like we've kind of
I feel like that pretty much covers it. I feel like, yeah, it's just making sure you're acting in alignment with your goals, really. Like, don't say you want one thing and then go off and act in a completely different way. Like, if you want something, act in alignment with that. And
and if
yes,
you
it's
do
hard.
not, sorry.
Sorry, I was just saying, it is hard, right? Like, I found it hard when I go away with my friends and they're all like getting lunch out and having drinks, and I'm on my meal prep. Like, it's hard.
You do
And
get FOMO, but you
yeah,
then,
and you're hungry.
yeah, but then you just get over it. Like you literally get over it the next day. Like you're fine.
Yeah.
But like also, if you don't align with your goals, if you don't act in alignment with your goals, then don't be shocked when you see certain scale weights or your look not look how you thought
Yeah.
it was going to look, because you made the decisions not to follow through with what you need to do to get to that point. So as long as at the end of the day, Leah's your coach or whoever's your coach can tell you what to do, tell you the steps, the best possible way for you to get to that goal. However, they can't baby feed you. So
Yeah.
if you are not doing what you need to and you're upset with how you look, assess why. It's not because you're your coach, it's because you have not taken the steps to get to that point, and that's no one else's fault but your own. So as long as you're okay with that at the end of the whatever block you're in, that you could have done better, as long as you're okay with feeling like that, then you're fine. But if you're not going to feel okay with that, like
Yeah.
not feeling like you should have done better, you could have done better, make sure you do better then. Don't make the wrong don't make the wrong choices.
100%. And I'll say this to clients sometimes. It's like, well, okay, you've got a really busy social month, like, or you've got a hen do. Okay, let's just take those calories on the chin for this weekend. Go and enjoy your hen do. We know there's going to
Yeah,
be drinks.
yeah. Like
Like, go and have fun, but you just have to accept that with that, you're not going to lose weight if you're going away for a weekend and you eat
yeah,
and
you
you're drinking.
accept
But
it.
yeah, it's just accepting it. But are you happy with that? Yeah, actually, here I am. I've worked really hard. I want to go away and enjoy myself, but I accept that I'm not going to lose weight. Right, brilliant. Yeah, go and do that then. That's
Yeah,
absolutely fine. But what you can't do is come back, weigh yourself and be like, oh my God, I'm
yeah,
really annoyed. I've put on X amount of weight. Well, yeah, because you've been eating and drinking all
yeah.
weekend. So it's
Don't
just,
become shocks. Like you have to
yeah,
become accustomed with what you're putting in your mouth will be the result of what
yeah,
comes.
yeah,
Oh, that's good. As long as you remember that,
yeah.
then you won't be your emotions won't go up and down when you do kind of eat out and when you don't, or when you do social events, because we all know how the summer is, especially coming up to it. There's going to be way more social events than there would be in the winter. So as long as you're okay with the fact that, I do have a goal, however, it's a fucking wedding or it's a really big event, I ain't gonna care. Like for me, my launch party, couldn't give a fuck. I was like, I'm gonna have a brownie or two because it's my launch party.
Yeah.
And cool, if I gain 3 pounds, cool, whatevs. I enjoyed
Yeah.
myself. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We have found out we have had like 13 5-star reviews on Spotify. So if you wouldn't mind, if all of you could go and rate us 5 stars, if anyone rates us any lower, um, but yeah, rate us if you can, and also subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. So thank you so much for your support so far, guys. Like it's genuinely really appreciated, and we're seeing a lot more story tags as well, which is quite cool.
Fab. Can I just give myself a little plug as well or something?
Yeah.
So on YouTube, I've just started sharing like my prep updates. So I'm doing like a weekly prep vloggy thing on YouTube. Some of them I've got like filmed professionally and like one a month, and then 3 of them are just like me basically carrying my camera on. Yeah, but I've got some really cool stuff coming up for like bikini fittings and that sort of thing. So, and I've got as well, I'm really excited for this because I've never done this before. I've got Jake coming with me to film the British. So I'm so excited because before I've always done it myself, and then Will's filming it and he's like in the audience and the camera's like this.
Like that,
All excited. So I'm so excited because I've got Jake coming, so we're about to get like all my show day pictures and everything. So yeah, go and follow me on
leveled up.
YouTube. It's just Leah Hollingsworth basically. If you want to follow the prep.
That's exciting. Well, what we'll do is, Leah, what you can do is just add it to the link tree.
Oh yeah, okay.
And you guys can find Leah's updates on the link tree, as well as our newest podcast.
Fab. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much, guys, for listening, and we'll see you for the next one.
Bye, guys.